Hey there, so Boo Traveler was asking about the workflow for Descript. This is what I do, and I usually don't use it for short form videos like Reels and TikToks, etc. I just have come to the point where I just accept if there are verbal crutch, I just leave it in there just because of time. I'm able to put out so much more content by not worrying about it. But you can also edit the video there in the app or even in CapCut, and it makes it pretty easy to edit things out that way if it's like a really big pause or something. For long form video and podcasts, what I do is I upload it to Descript just like this. Let me actually go back to the main screen so you can see what it is. From here, I would choose a video, and this is going to probably take a while. Here we go. This is a good example. I haven't edited this one yet. So here's a video that I uploaded for my membership. So I would upload it here, transcribe, done. Takes a minute. Once I have the words here, I'm going to pause it until it loads. Okay, so now the transcript's loaded, and keep in mind I have the premium version. There's like a couple tiers. There's a free version that has a couple of hours a month, which is really good to start with. I just record so much now that I had to upgrade. And then there's a second tier. I think that's the one I have now. It's $15 a month, and then there's $30 a month. When you go up here, you're going to go to edit. I do remove filler words, and it automatically highlights them and takes them out, which is amazing. So for most audio, you have to edit the audiograms. Let me actually look this up and show you. Usually you have to edit this part down here. And I do a little bit of that as well. Well, now I have a VA doing it, but that's what I would do. So now I'm going to click apply to all. So now all of my filler words are removed. Amazing, right? Then I would go through and edit the actual audio. So see, this is a big space or a gap. I like to click there. So I just left clicked and it cuts it. Right click, delete. And so I'll go through the audio and any kind of sound I see, which I can tell just from doing so much audio, this is the sound of my breath. So I do left click, right click, delete, left click, right click, delete. Actually, I'm going to take out this whole and because I just looked at the flow and I'm like, I don't really need that. So then I'm going to left click, right click, delete. That's like the audio editing, but I would also go through here and probably read it out and see how it looks and sounds. If I can see anything where maybe I messed up and then I repeated myself, I can just highlight. So see, I highlight this text and it highlights the portion of the sound, and I can even backspace it and it deletes it, which is amazing. But I'm going to go ahead and click Control Z to undo that. I will delete this part though, because I can see this big gap. And the cool thing is, as I'm editing the transcript or as I'm editing the audio here, it's also automatically editing the video. So let's just say I was done. So then I would go to publish, and then I would click export, and I can either export the video, which will export as an MP4 file. So that's where you would upload either if it was a long form horizontal video like to YouTube or Facebook. If you wanted to export the audio for a podcast, you could do it as a WAV file, WAV. That's the best one I've found to not lose any sound quality. For transcript, like if you wanted to export this as a Google Doc, that would be good. And then you can take that and change it into a blog post, which is what I do. So actually, I'm going to go ahead and do that really quickly so I can show you how I would do that as a blog post. I would use AI for that. You can either use ChatGPT or you can use something else. I prefer to use the premium version, but there's a lot you can do with the free version, which is 3.5. And I'm just gonna literally highlight it and copy. And I'm going to say rewrite this transcript into a 500-word blog post. Now, this doesn't always work. It just depends on how much content you already have. But if you do have a lot of content out, then you can say write it in the brand, voice, tone, and style of Brittany Verlenich from Verity Media. Let's see if that works. Okay, and sometimes it doesn't, and you'll have to tweak it a little bit. So I just pasted, and let's see what it comes up with. Sometimes it'll give you something great out of the gate. Sometimes I find though that it gives you words like, see, unlock or unleash. I don't like those because when I read them, immediately I know someone used ChatGPT. So I'm going to say, this is a great start, but please rewrite this without typical ChatGPT language like unlock, unleash, etc. Make it sound more warm, approachable, and friendly with the audience. Now that's another thing it helps too, is like, who is your audience? So you do want to know that. With the audience being TPT sellers. I'm also going to add from the perspective of Brittany, who is a social media strategist. Here we go, and let's see if the second graph is better. Okay, so this is still not perfect. but just from the quick glance, I can see it's better. A friendly guide to freebie swaps, that is not something that's SEO friendly. What I'd actually do for that, and I know I'm going super fast. That's why I wanted to record it, because I'm like, okay, then you can go back. I like to use what's called the CoSchedule headline analyzer. So say I wanted to do how to set up a freebie swap, a step-by-step guide for TPT sellers. Analyze now a step-by-step guide for TPT sellers. So I have an idea that the title will do well, but let's just see. And by the way, CoSchedule, the free version, does have a limited amount of searches you can do. So you do want to do a little bit of research before you type one in, unless you think it's going to be a banger out of the park. So this is 76. I try to go for like an 80 or something SEO score. That just means that if I make this the title of a blog post, the higher it is, the better chance you get. Green's still pretty good, but I like to go for 85, something like that if I can. Okay, I'm going to put the ultimate. I don't know why, but Google seems to like that. The ultimate step-by-step guide for TPT sellers is a little bit long. Oh, it doesn't like that. The ultimate, let's try the ultimate guide. I would probably go with either this one. I'm actually going to copy that so I don't lose it. And then let me go down here and see which one they liked better. Yeah, I would probably just keep it 75, so that's fine. So then I would go into, if for the blog post part, I usually actually write directly in WordPress, but if you are going to have a VA helping you, I think it helps to have this in a Google Doc. What I did was just make this a H1 heading title, so that way whenever I have a VA post into WordPress, they just directly copy and paste. Okay, now back to ChatGPT. I'm going to copy this. Back in Google Docs, I'm going to paste it, Control V, and then I can already see these here are meant to be headings. So I'm going to make that a heading 2, select heading 2. That's like the first part I would do. Now for a blog post, I'm a little bit picky. I would go back through and see which would be like an H3 or an H4. And basically that just means like a section under a section, just because I know, one, that Google likes that, and I know when people are reading, they like that. So that is how I would do the first part. Let me go back and read your comment again to see what else you were asking. So you were asking about making it like a live stream. Okay, so then what I would do is I would say, thank you. Now, please rewrite this into a simple script I could use for a live stream on Facebook, Instagram, etc. All right, and then it's going to spit something out. This is pretty great, right? It's even giving you stage suggestions. Open, screenshot, Brittany smiling. I wouldn't do exactly this cheesiness. I'm not that cheesy. I'm a little cheesy, but I like that it did incorporate some of my language and how I would talk. So what's a freebie swap? Think of it as a friendly collaboration. So I probably would say something like that. It gives you camera angle suggestions. So that's really nice. You could even, while you have the video going, once you are doing a live, you could even just keep this ChatGPT window open and literally read off the screen if you like what it says while you're recording the live. I don't really use much of a script anymore, but I will actually do this in a sticky note where I'll put like the 3 or 5 main points. I will tape that either on the screen or on the camera just below where it's actually recording. So that way I remember to look at the camera, and then I look at my sticky note to remind me what I've already covered and what I still need to cover. And then it looks like I'm still looking at the camera, and I don't have that awkward like looking back and forth between the screen and the cameras. Let me see what else. Video 1, video, other purposes, cutting down. Yeah, so I just did that in about 12 minutes, and that's obviously in addition to actually recording the first video, long form video first, because then now I have the audio for a podcast episode, I have the transcript for a blog post, and this is really cool too. And now I'm gonna say, taking this same live stream script, give me ideas for 10 short form videos, including hooks, main value, and calls to action. Okay, cool. Look at that. Video 1, video 2, video 3. Now I have all of this other content idea for future short form videos. And the cool thing is this could even be a whole series on TikTok or Instagram Reels. So I hope this was super helpful. Let me know if you have any questions.